From mildly taking part in experiments leading to shooting monstrosities in the face, is this all that there is to Half-Life? After blasting through the corridors and laboratories of Black Mesa and beyond, how was the adventure? In a game where it's more about the journey than the destination, does Half-Life show that story in FPSs can take the main stage and the game still be an enjoyable experience? I have asked enough questions, so let's get on with it.
They're waiting for you, Gordon, in the test chamber.
Half-Life puts you in the HEV suit of the well-known mute scientist Gordon Freeman. Starting out a normal day at Black Mesa, a scientific facility working on mysterious experiments and military weapons, an experiment you're working on does not go to plan and straight away you are pitted against an alien force. It's from here that you must fight your way through towards the centre of the complex to try and sort this whole mess out. Unsurprisingly, the government sends in the military to try and quell the situation, as well as get rid of any loose ends, as in anyone and everyone, including yourself. But with so much going on, is there something else at play here? The story is an interesting one, in that it is actually a part of the game, which was new for FPS at the time. With games such as Doom and Quake, the story was merely just a page in the manual book and not really prevalent in the game itself. Characters you meet will talk to you, telling of news they might have heard or what is going on around them, and where Gordon should head to next. This brings me to another interesting aspect of Half-Life with regards to the story. It tells you what's going on, while at the same time never taking you out of gameplay. No cutscenes, nothing. As soon as you load up the game and begin the tram sequence, you never leave Gordon Freeman from start to finish. It's a simple design choice, but it is one that allows more immersion, and that's always good. It also allows us as the player to connect to the character more. We endure through their struggles, and in turn we want to see us all through to the end.
What's it gonna do? Bam!
Gameplay is much of what you would expect from an FPS game. Anything between you and the exit that is trying to kill you needs to die. As Half-Life is quite an old game, there are no regular modern FPS mechanics such as aiming down the sights, sprinting, or a melee attack assigned to a certain button press. Instead, there is just a crosshair and a shoot button, as well as a secondary fire button for certain weapons. If you're playing this game and used to shooters like Call of Duty and Battlefield 3, it can mess with what you're used to, but this game works well with what it gives you. Everything is based around speed and how fast you can move around the levels. Staying in one place is useless as the enemies will always come looking for you and never giving you a minute to catch your breath and think of a plan of action. It's just running and shooting at its very core. Accompanying this is a selection of weapons ranging from shotguns and pistols to rocket launchers and satchel charges, including Gordon's now iconic crowbar. Each do the job, though obviously some better than others, but they all allow the same situation to be handled with differently depending on how you like to approach combat, but sometimes there is only really one weapon for the job. Some segments require you to perform some light platforming. There are not many places where this is needed, but because the game is all about speed, timing your jumps can be quite tricky, resulting in either massive loss of health or just outright death. Frustrating, but not game breaking.
Run! No, why am I stuck? Fuck you all!
Presentation wise, this game does not hold up well, but at the time when games such as Rainbow Six, StarCraft and Fallout 2 were released, it could definitely hold its own. Now however, animations look stiff and unreal, environments can look a little bleak and empty at times, and there are obvious limitations there on show. It's like being able to see the set while watching a TV show. The sound is of great quality in this game, especially the soundtrack with a very recognisable jingle if you are familiar with Valve at all. Aliens have creepy noises coming out of them, the weapons sound satisfying when you shoot, and there are plenty of explosions to be had. Half-Life came out around the time when games were beginning to sound great, but the looks were still lagging behind a bit with regards to technology. Although that being said, a lot of characters do have the same voice actor. If you're not too bothered about how a game looks, then the gameplay and the soundtrack will definitely keep you interested.
Good to see you.
Hey, it's nice to see you. I've got to be going now.
All in all, Half-Life is just a great game. It was great back then, and it's still great now. The look of it may not have stood the test of time, but it's been 15 years since its original release. It's something that people come back to, and with its investment in story too, makes it stand out from other games in this genre at that time. So it should be commended on that alone. But with good gameplay and an awesome soundtrack to boot, I give Half-Life 9 out of 10. I also suggest you check out Black Mesa, the remake of Half-Life. It's just like the same game, but not. Just do it.